to a multi-part video series. I'm going to use this time to talk about data fabrics. Data fabrics are a very interesting thing that's sort of been talked about relatively recently when it comes to data management, logistics, and data abstraction. Pretty much all things data. I'm going to break this into 5 parts. The first part, I'm just going to talk about what is a data fabric, give a couple descriptions from others of what a data fabric is. The second piece, I'm going to talk about distributed messaging. This is all through a lens of how Apache Pulsar can create a data fabric for you. So the second piece will be about distributed messaging, which is a core sort of component of Pulsar. The third piece I'm going to talk about is functions, which is like a function as a service, a lightweight compute framework on top of distributed messaging. The fourth piece is data abstraction, so basically SQL against your distributed messaging. And the fifth piece, I'm going to talk about sort of next generation workloads, things like machine learning and artificial intelligence, and how data fabrics are sort of, in my opinion, can be looked at as a transition into those future things. So let's kick it off with what a data fabric is. So I'm going to just start by reading a pretty good description by NetApp. To them, a data fabric is an architecture and a set of data services that provide consistent capabilities across a choice of endpoints spanning on-premise and multiple cloud environments. Data Fabric simplifies and integrates data management across cloud and on-premise to accelerate digital transformation. It delivers consistent and integrated hybrid cloud data services for data visibility and insights, data access control, data protection, and security. So that's the definition from NetApp. And that one I really sort of lean towards, because while it's holistic or broad in nature, it really gets to the core of defining data fabric. Denodo sort of positions data fabric for them as just simply the virtualization of your data, so like an abstraction layer on top of it, bringing together the disparate sources to have a sort of singular view of the data. So from my perspective, I sort of see it as both the abstraction of the data, like Denodo sort of describes, but also more of sort of NetApp, where it's, in my opinion, the NetApp sort of description of data fabric includes the Denodo one, which is why I sort of favor it. But for me, it's about two things. It's about the virtualization or the abstraction of your data, but it's also about the sort of connectivity and operational component of your data. So you can think of it as like ingestion versus just reading what's already been ingested. Of course, it's more complex than that, but to me, the data fabric's really that component that touches everything, and you really want to sort of build it in such a way where it's a single platform that everything can sort of flow through. It's the thing that is able to go cross department, so it breaks down silos. For example, you could have one particular product line of your business could be using the data fabric for their own purposes, and the data fabric could be the way that you expose what they're doing to another department. So that becomes very interesting, because that sort of crossing that threshold, in my experience talking to a lot of the Fortune 1000, has been incredibly difficult. And it's not just a technical challenge, there's politics involved and things of that nature, cultural challenges, but I think these are things that have to be broken down for the future of ML and AI, where you need sort of that whole holistic view of the data to understand what type of patterns you can find in that data. I'm going to be talking about Apache Pulsar as it relates to data fabric. I came to sort of Pulsar as a necessity from another piece of software not working for me. And in sort of really getting an understanding of Pulsar, it's a sort of perfect shoe-in for a data fabric, and I'll talk about some of those reasons very specifically.